If you're one of the thousands of people that are simply diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome and then just left to your own devices to try and manage your symptoms, then I understand what you're going through. I see hundreds of patients in my clinic each year that are simply told you've got IBS, potentially take a probiotic, take some laxatives, take some reflux medication, or maybe reduce FODMAP foods to try and deal with your symptoms. Then I completely understand your frustration. So what we now know is that SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, causes 80% of IBS worldwide. So if you have been diagnosed with IBS and have not tested for SIBO, I highly recommend that you do that. So what can happen with SIBO is that you will get gut symptoms, but you'll get a lot of systemic symptoms. So SIBO is the small bowel is the major absorption organ. So with SIBO, you can get malabsorption of nutrients that you need for methylation, such as folate and B12. You can get malabsorption of nutrients that you need for your thyroid function, such as iodine. You'll also get issues with the malabsorption of FODMAPs, and this is very important. So FODMAPs are healthy plant foods. They are meant to bypass the small bowel relatively intact, where they go down to the large bowel, and they're actually taken by the bacteria in the large bowel and converted into short-chain fatty acids. And this is really important, as short-chain fatty acids are a fuel source for the cells of the gut. And it helps heal the gut, it helps maintain a healthy gut lining, and it's a really important part of your immune system. But when you have SIBO, the SIBO bacteria are taking those FODMAP foods and converting them into gas. Okay, so causing symptoms, and also causing symptoms in the small bowel, but also causing a hindrance to what can potentially be a benefit to the large bowel if these FODMAP foods get down to the large bowel. Now, the other thing that SIBO really does is causes massive issues with histamine. So SIBO will stimulate histamine, and histamine will cause chronic reflux and heartburn. It will cause neurological issues such as headaches and migraines and vertigo, motion sickness, nausea, anxiety, insomnia. Okay, it can cause, can stimulate peristalsis and cause chronic diarrhea. It can also cause a lot of asthma, is very much driven from histamine. It can cause chronic sinusitis, rhinitis, and it plays havoc with your hormones. So it actually really does increase estrogen. Okay, so a diagnosis of IBS is really useless as far as I'm concerned. You need to get to the cause. And since we now know 80% of IBS is driven from SIBO, getting SIBO tested as a priority if you've been diagnosed with IBS is highly recommended.